Hey guys, Mr. Wood back, kind of continuing what we were doing yesterday. Won't be a super long lesson, but more good jokes. What two letters of the alphabet contain nothing? MT. MT. That's a good one. What is the center of gravity? Physics question. What is the center of gravity? The letter V. There we go. Those are the jokes. Okay, so real quick, what I was talking about yesterday is right up here on the board. So what we did yesterday was we just did more conversions and we worked on assignment 9 too. I'll talk about it. And then we did that lab. And remember, that lab is due by Thursday morning. Okay, by Thursday morning, 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Well, we're going to, and I want to talk about that just briefly, but what is due on Thursday and really by Friday morning is that worksheet, which we're going to work more on. Here are these textbook questions, and then on class on Thursday, we'll do practice, and then you guys will have the quiz. So that is what's going on. So remember in the lab, calling it a lab, it's really more of a calculation, but it looked like this. We did the top part together. You made a hypothesis. And the conclusion, just what do you think? Is this believable or not believable? It's pretty amazing. And I didn't show you in class, but here's an aluminum cube. So we were figuring out how many atoms of aluminum there were in here. And then if we could put those end to end, how far that would stretch. And then here's the zinc cylinder. So again, if we figure out the number of atoms of zinc in there, and then if we put them back to back. So you guys, again, that is due by the time I open my email on Thursday morning, 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this handout right here. And I'm just going to work a couple of problems. So it's not going to be a super long video. Give you the answers so you can make sure that you guys are on the right track. So on part A, we did number 1 and 2. So let me just do number 3. Okay, so we're converting here from moles to atoms. So I start with 1.0 times 10 to the 7th moles of B. B is boron. And I want to convert to atoms. So there's my setup. Okay, and then I follow the units. So since I start with moles, moles go on the bottom, so they cancel out. Since I end in atoms, atoms go on top. So there's my units. Okay, and now for the numbers, the number that goes with moles is 1, and for atoms, it's Avogadro's number. And again, some of you asked in class yesterday really good questions. It's just about calculate. So calculate that out. This has 2 sig figs, so I want 2 sig figs. So what I get is 6.0 times 10 to the 20th. That is wrong. It should be 6.0 times 10 to the 30th. Let me get my glasses on. Okay, number 4, the answer comes out to be set to 1 sig fig, because there's only 1 sig fig in that. 2 times 10 to the 20th atoms. And for number 5, it is 9.0 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So there's the answer for 4 and 5. I'm just right here on part A. Okay. Okay, on part B, we did 1 and 2, so here's number 3. So here's part B, number 3. And I'm starting with 1 atom of sulfur. And again, I'm trying to figure out moles. I'm going to put atoms here. This is technically atoms of sulfur to moles. Again, I always abbreviate moles, MOL. So the number that goes with moles is 1, and the number that goes with atoms or molecules is Avogadro's number. So again, it would be a good idea to do that on your calculator. So you're taking 1 divided by this number, and what that gives me, and your calculator does this for you. 1.7 times 10 to the negative 24th. Okay, on that section, the answer to number 4 is 4.2. The answer to number 5 is 4.0. Okay, section C, number 3. So we did all the 1s and 2s. So number 3, converting moles to molecules. So I start with 0.12 molecules. Oops, wrong. 0.12 moles of H2S, and I want to convert this to molecules. So there's my setup. Okay, so I'm going to put moles on the bottom, molecules on top. That way moles cancel out. Again, whatever unit I start with goes on the bottom. Okay, now the numbers. The number goes with moles is 1. The number that goes with molecules is Avogadro's number. Again, this would be a good thing to do this on your calculator. So what I get is 7.2 times 10 to the 22nd. Okay, the answer to number 4 in that section is 1.6 times 10 to the 24th molecules. The answer to number 5 is 9.0 times 10 to the 24th molecules. Okay, now let's go to the back. And this is where it was a little bit new, and kind of even as we continue on in this chapter, I'm still going to be doing these conversions, and I think hopefully you kind of get the hang of them. Okay, so on the back, so now we throw grams into this. Okay, so number 3, so I'm in section D, number 3. So we start with 0.12 moles of H2S. Okay, and we want to convert this to grams. So in my setup then, I put moles on the bottom. Again, this is what I start with on the bottom, what I end with on top. Remember, the number that always goes with moles is 1, but the number that goes with grams has to be determined. So I've got to find the molar mass. So I've got 2 H's, and I've got 1 S. So if I go to the periodic table, hydrogen weighs 1, sulfur weighs 32.1. Okay, so the 1 and the 2, and then this came from the atomic mass of those on the periodic table. So this is 34.1. That is going to go right here. So if I multiply that out, what I get is 4.1. What I get for number 4, actually my sig figs aren't right here, is 201. Really, I should have 2 sig figs, so it should really be 2.0 times 10 squared. And number 5 is 690. Okay, and then finally, the last section. So letter E, number 3. So now we're just going backwards. So we got 1 gram of NaCl, and we want to go to moles. So again, there's my setup. And I follow the units. Since I start with grams, grams go on the bottom, so they'll cancel out. Since I end with moles, moles go on top. Okay, and again, the number that goes with moles is 1, and the number that goes with grams has to be determined. So sodium weighs 23, chlorine weighs 35.5, so that's their molar mass, so it's 58.5. So if you do the math there to 2 sig figs, it says 2 sig figs, 0.017. Okay, number 4, the answer is 6.60. Number 5 is 5.22. Okay, so kind of went over, hopefully we're getting good at these conversions. We're going to continue to practice them a little bit just because they are important. So guys, that is it. Be working on your chemistry, and I will Google Meet with you guys on Thursday. Bye.